Stickers and Scuffs are proud supporters of Laps for MD. Laps for MD helps those with muscular dystrophy by raising funds, supporting MD charities through racing. We encourage those who are not already a part of the Laps for MD family to check them out on social media and their website, lapsformd.blogspot.com.
Race fans, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Stickers and Scuffs Junior co-host, the Bunn Sons. Let's go green, boys. Take it away, Owen and Riley.
Welcome back to the Bunn Sons, and today we have the driver of the number 43 AGI Dodge in the NASCAR Pinty Series, Shantel Kalika. Welcome, Shantel.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you on the show. So
I'm excited to be here. You guys have grown up since I last saw you.
So we have a couple questions to ask you. So
Okay.
my first question is, we have read about your career at home in Saskatchewan. Can you tell us about your championship winning seasons?
Yeah, you betcha. So I won a Pro Track Championship in 2016 at Wyan Group Raceway. My dad and I actually built that truck. So it was super meaningful to me. A little bit of a bummer where actually the last race day got rained out. And so then I won not being at the track. So that was a little bit weird for me, obviously, because everybody likes the hype of showing up at the racetrack and being able to win their championship and celebrate with everybody there and the fans and all that kind of stuff. So that was a little bit of a bummer. 2017, I came close. I only lost by 4 points, which actually was just 2 positions on the track. We tried really hard. The guy that actually ended up winning the championship, he won the race and I ended up finishing 3rd. So we definitely gave it a good effort to try and go back to back there. And then in 2018, I moved from the truck division to the sportsman division. And that was also at Wyan Group Raceway. And I ended up winning that. And so that was very special. My dad actually won a sportsmanship championship in 2011. And then I won it in 2018. So we actually have our name on the exact same trophy. So it's pretty cool and really special for me for sure.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. So my second question is, what does the number 43 and riding in the Pinty Series mean to you?
So the 43 actually came from my dad. So back in the day, my dad actually has raced for like 28 years, I think it is now. So he used to start with 43, and the background behind that was he initially was 49, and then it was cheaper to save on decals and stuff like that. And somebody told him that he couldn't actually run that number based on somebody else having it, and so we ended up putting a piece of decal over it. So then it became 43. And so that's kind of how that number came along. My dad's raced it for years. So I picked up the number 49 actually down the road and was racing that at home. So all of my championships have been won underneath of number 49. The number 49 was gone in the Pinty series though. So we went to 43. So a lot of meaning behind it, obviously. And I'm super excited to be able to have that number and obviously make a name for it with myself.
So my third question is, we saw your amazing new paint scheme. That must mean you're planning to run some races this season.
Well, so obviously the plan was to run in 2020. So I actually ended up having a baby in 2020. So I was due in June, and the plan was to start racing in July when the Pinty series came for their West Swing. So it was going to be a super quick situation to hop in the car. And then obviously with COVID, that didn't end up happening. So that was a really big bummer there. But we did end up having the car deckled, all ready to go. Partnership is still alive, obviously, with AGI. But sadly, the NASCAR Pinty series isn't coming out west this year, just due to COVID restrictions, that kind of thing. So that's a little bit of a bummer for us, but we still wanted to do the unveiling of the car. And obviously, like I said, our partnership with AGI is huge. However, for 2021, we won't be making any races just yet. The plan though, and the hope, we have been in discussion with a few teams that are out east, and most recently actually Jim Bray, who is a NASCAR Hall of Famer. We've been in conversations with him, and hopefully if we can get some money together, we can come and run a few races out there with you guys. So that's hopefully the plan. So if anybody is watching this and wants to sponsor a female racer and hook up with us and hopefully make some things happen this year, give me a shout.
So my final question is, what's it like working and racing with your dad?
Oh, well, it has its ups and downs. Have you guys ever had a fight with your dad? Yeah. So it's honestly, it's the most amazing thing. We are best friends. We work on the race cars, we do all the PR. So everything out of our stable, from working on the cars to getting the sponsorship to showing up at events, hauling to the racetrack, everything like that. It's all handled by Dad and myself. So that's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a lot of hours, and it's a lot of time that you're spending with that same person. So there's definitely, heads that butt, but it's pretty cool that I've been able to come along to this point. And I mean, it's huge having him and having his background in racing, right? So if ever I'm struggling, I have somebody that I can always lean on. And it's been amazing too, in the fact of going through these big things. So going from a local program to going into the NASCAR Pinty series, you need a huge support system. So not only sponsors, but you need to have a support system behind you, like family. And so having my family support me and having my dad is obviously huge.
And who is all a part of Busch Racing?
So it is made up of my dad, myself, so Ben Busch, and then myself, my mom, Sandra Busch. My husband helps us out. So he helps us like with all the track races. He's the jack man and the fuel guy. Big guys need to be fuel guys, I guess. So Casey Kalika, Pat and Jim Petrowski, they help us out. We've got, who else is there? A few guys that come to the races. Matt Stauffer, he's actually crewed for me. But I would say the thick and thin of Busch Racing does consist of myself, my mom, my dad, and my husband. So, we have all those guys at the track, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them. Obviously, that makes up a team. But the root of Busch Racing goes to, for sure, my mom, my dad, and myself. So Busch Racing wouldn't be here without us three, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So my first question is, it's cool to see AGI's colors back on your car. How did that sponsorship come about?
It ended up, we were trying to get into the series, trying to look for sponsorship, and obviously it takes a lot of money to get into the Pinty series. I'm not in the realm, of the DJ Kenningtons, Alex Tagliani's, that kind of stuff. I'm very excited and happy, obviously, to be where I'm at in the series. And in order to do that, I had to get sponsorship. So AGI came about with a lot of discussions back and forth. The egg community and the farming community is obviously very male dominated, which is exactly like racing, right? Male dominated sport. So it's one of those things where we really work on making sure that females are present. So in farming industry, females are coming along, they're getting more of a presence. And so having myself, obviously in a male dominated sport, those two really go well together and hand in hand, right? And so being out west, obviously we have a lot of prairies and a lot of farmers. So it's really good to be able to have that partnership with them. And we, like I said, did have the partnership for 2020. But with that, we decided to roll it into 2021. And now with them not coming out west, we will actually be rolling that to 2022. So I am very excited to obviously announce that. That's the first time that it has been announced. So it hasn't been announced that we'll be racing in 2022 yet, but AGI is going to be back on board with us, and we will be running 2022 out west here when they come.
So my next question is, I know you're a mom. What's it like being a driver and a mom in a racing family?
you know, this will kind of be my first time that I'm gonna kind of see everything full circle, I guess. So we pushed really hard with planning in 2022. We pushed really hard to have everything set and ready to go with the car before I was going to be having my baby. So with all of that, we were actually, I think March 16th or something like that was when kind of the world ended up shutting down. But we had everything prepped already. So I didn't have to try to juggle being a mom and trying to do the racing aspect of it. And so I'm really bummed out that I wasn't able to get back in the Pinty series. I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think I would have been the first mom to race in the series. And so it was something that was going to be big for me to be able to have a baby and turn around and come back and be able to get behind the wheel of the car, know that I still have it, can still compete, all that kind of stuff. People always said to me, do you think you're going to be scared and more cautious now that you have a kid? And so it was one of those things that was, I didn't know. I had no idea what it was going to be like. And so with the NASCAR Pinty series getting canceled, we actually did end up taking our local sportsmen out to the racetrack last summer. And I went out there and I won a couple heat races and I ended up finishing second in the feature. So it was really good for me to be able to get back in the car, get my confidence, know that I can get out there and know that I can compete. And having a kid is just an added bonus. It's another cheer squad for me. So that's really good. But I think there will be a lot to juggle. He's super busy now. So the days of having him in the shop and sitting in the playpen and hanging out with us aren't really a thing anymore. He wants to go pretty good. So we'll have to see what it's like this year, but I'm excited to have him and to be able to have him at the races. And yeah, I mean, I guess be a mom and go out there and still kick butt.
So my final question is, what does it mean to you to be one of the few women to start a Pinty Series race?
I've always advocated for women. I mean, growing up with my dad, I was always his shop buddy. So I don't really know any different other than being just another competitor. I obviously am very lucky that I am a female in a male dominated sport and I'm able to, you know, make my waves and show everybody that they can do what they set their mind to. But when I'm at the track, I do just see that I am another competitor. I'm the same as everybody that's out there. However, as much as you want to say that, that's obviously not always the case, right? So it is a little bit tougher sometimes to go and get sponsorship. It's a little bit tougher to get the people behind you that you need to get in order to go to the racetrack and compete, whether that's crew or whatever else it might be. And so I want to show other people that they can do it as well. And so a lot of that, like I said, takes having people behind you that can do it. I've had people that have reached out to me on social media, you know, ask me how I got into racing, what they can do in order to get to the next step in racing. And I'm all for that. I'm all for having conversations with people and trying to help them out, any knowledge that I can give them in order to do that. But I think being able to be a woman in a male dominated sport, I think it just shows everybody else that they can do what they want and do what they set their mind to. And it doesn't have to be other females. It can be you boys. It can be anybody. You know, so I'm just proud to be able to be myself. And I'm proud to be able to be doing what I love.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on the Bunn Sons, and we hope to be able to see you again.
You're very welcome. I hope to see you guys too. Hopefully we'll be able to get out east this year and we'll be able to see you guys.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
We'll get another upgraded up picture. I think what was it, 2019 when we finally saw you guys?
I'm pretty sure, so, yeah.
I think so, yeah. So let's work on that. We'll work on getting out east, me out east, and we'll work on getting another picture for us, okay? Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the Bunn Sons. Make sure to check out the Stickers and Scuffs podcast on social media. Be sure to leave a comment and let the boys know how they did.